I want to get
Yeah.
right to it because I thought of a fun little thing for you, Mr. Baseball, this week. So,
Okay, hit me. Yeah.
so I want you to build your fantasy team, but my stipulation is you have to take one player from each decade, starting with the 30s, coming up to bring you up to the 2010s.
Okay. Okay.
So
All
one
right.
one
Hold on
player
here.
from each decade. So a player from 1930 to
Okay.
1939,
Okay.
and going through that will get you 9 players, so you'll get all 9 positions.
Okay. Up to the 2010s
Yep, we're going.
or
Yep, so you're going the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the aughts, and the tens.
okay. One player from each to cover each position.
Yep,
Okay. Okay. I'm going 1930s. My first baseman is Lou Gehrig.
fine choice.
Okay. 1940s. 1940s. I am gonna go. God, did he? I'm going Bob Feller. How much did Bob Feller pitch in the 40s?
Oh God, you would know better
Let's
than
look
me.
this up.
Bob.
I'm looking this up. He yes, yeah, oh yeah, he pitched well. He had two no hitters, 1940,
Oh,
1946, and then 51. Okay, so Bob Feller, pitcher. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh man, this is. Of course, producer Steve says, "I love this." You asshole. Of course, you'd love it. 1950s. I'm gonna go center field. Willie Mays.
I mean,
Okay.
I feel that one's off.
Yeah. Okay. 1960s. 1960s. Oh God, here we go. 1960s. I am gonna go right field. Hammer and Hank Aaron.
Hank.
Okay. 1970s. 1970s. I am gonna go. Look, it's. Is there a morality clause in this, Jared?
Nah. Whatever,
Okay.
wherever you want to take this.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep with my morals, but I'm gonna go second base, Cincinnati Reds, Joe Morgan. I was gonna go the other way. I was gonna go with the other red. I think you know how I was gonna go. Okay. And then 1980s. I'm gonna jump to the 90s. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I'm gonna lock in my closer, even though he wasn't completely dominant the entire decade. But I'm going my closer, my relief pitcher, Dennis Eckersley. Is that factor in, or would that mess up your system?
I mean, we can have fun with it, but the original was just the 9 straight
No,
positions.
it messes up your system.
Okay.
You can tell me. Okay, so we're gonna go with the catcher from the '80s. You damn well know I'm gonna do it. Gary Carter, my guy Gary. Okay, so I need a third baseman, a shortstop, and a left fielder. Okay, I'm gonna go. I am gonna go a third baseman. Oh my God, it gets tough. I'm gonna a shortstop. Okay. Two. We're gonna go. I hate him.
See
Oh, I hate him.
those old decades are easy because you can only pick out a couple here and there. Now you're getting into
Yeah,
the those 90s on. It's just like, ooh, wait a
I'm
minute.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go shortstop. I'm gonna go shortstop for the 2000s. Alex Rodriguez,
Why am I not
A Rod.
surprised?
I don't like him, and his career is tainted. But before all that, he was the best player in the game, right? And so I'm going to cheat a little bit. Okay, you ready for me to cheat?
Oh God.
I'm going back. I'm going back to the '90s, and I need a left fielder, but he would have to move positions. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Really?
He's a center fielder, but
And
we're sliding
I'm
to
just like,
left.
it's an interest because of there's no other. All right, I'm gonna see where you finish with this. All right, keep going, keep going.
Well, the only thing I need is a third baseman from the 2010s. I have no fucking clue who I'm going to pick.
Oh God.
People are saying Evan Longoria. He's good looking, but he fell off the cliff so fast. So fast. So I'm going to go third base, 2010s. he was already injured. I was going to say David Wright, but his career kind of faded early
Gonna say
on.
Brandon Hanna just gave you David Wright in the comments too.
He's good though. He's good. All right, I'm going to cheat on this one. I'm just going to type in because this is kind of where I stopped watching as close. So I just need a little. I need a little bit of. You know, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Hall of Famer, Adrian Beltre.
I mean, Hall of Fame's usually a good place to look.
He's underrated. He just had such a long, quiet career. You forget he's one of the greatest stat-wise. Nolan Arenado. Yeah, I'm going Beltre. David Wright got hurt too much late, so he would have been earlier. That was tough. That's tough. Oh my God, Jared, that was great.
My surprise one from you though is moving Junior from center to left. Because
let me tell you,
my questions are, you're eliminating, I feel like, a lot of good batters from left field. Like, again, a situation if I don't like the guy, but Manny Ramirez from those early 2000s. That boy
Barry.
They could bomb those balls. Left field's not necessarily the most difficult position. And that's
I noticed too.
I love Griffey.
We don't have a DH. We don't have a DH. So can we add a DH?
Let's add a DH.
1920s. Babe Ruth. You ever heard of him? Ever heard of Babe Ruth, kid? Or are you from Boston and you forget what happened?
We sold him in 1912 for a silly musical that nobody saw.
No, Nanette. A musical cover. I wonder if Addie's seen No, Nanette. We're gonna ask her that when she shows up here.
And I love how you give Addie the time of day with the musicals, but DS9, no.
Nah. Did they have a song? Does anyone
It's
start
a
singing
baseball
songs?
episode in DS9.
All right. They start singing songs in it. That's all I care. Jared, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is the Sultan of SWAT. He invented chocolate bars. This is really tough. So I cheated, put 1920s designated hitter Babe Ruth, 1930s Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, Bob Feller, my starting pitcher from the 40s, 1950s Mays. So I'll explain that. Let me read the line. 60s Hammer and Hank Aaron. I put him in right field. 1970s Joe Morgan, second base, like two-time MVP. My catcher's Gary Carter. Could have gone bench with the 70s. Maybe got a different player for second base in the 80s, but Gary's my guy. 1990s, Ken Griffey Jr., swapping him, putting him in left field. And A-Rod in the 2000s at shortstop. Jared, I hate to do it. 2010, Adrian Beltre at third base. To answer your question, Bonds was going to be the player I was going to pick. And Barry was amazing to watch even before it all. It's been a lot of, I get it, and I just don't know. Put him on the ballot, or they did put him on the ballot, and he just didn't get
it. Was something like that, yeah.
It's the cloud that hangs over baseball. He was still a beauty to watch. But in left field, he wasn't as good towards the end because it's hard to move when you're made of just rocks. Griffey Jr. is one of the all-time great players. Injuries robbed a little bit of his success, but I think he did all right. But I don't think if I went to Ken Griffey Jr. with his backward hat on, the piss Buck Showalter off and on, and I said, I'm moving Willie Mays to left, you're going to center field, he'd say, absolutely not. Put me in left. Put me in left, coach. Mays has got center. So that's where I go.
I mean, that's fair points. Can't really argue that one.
Brandon Hanna, who's going to be on the show Saturday, says I would have held on starting pitcher for Greg Maddux in the 1990s. Well, that's why you're a kid. All right, kid. I'm going with Bob Feller. Maddux is great too. Maddux is actually one of my favorites. Jared, this is great. I love this.
Yeah, of course. Actually, here we go. Bonus round. Any decade. Get who's our manager?
Any decade manager. I will go. I will go. Everyone goes to Casey Stengel, but I'd go John McGraw. From the 2000 or from the 1900s, if we can cheat there.
Yep, that's any. I said any.
If it's after that, I don't know. Lasorda, LaRussa, I don't know. It's tough to say. There's a lot of modern managers I think have surpassed some of the managers of old. It's a different style, but I just think John McGraw, even though he was an old school guy, Miller Huggins too. But and Ralph Houck. There's a lot of things that Ralph Houck pitching rotations and stuff like that. But I think McGraw helped build modern baseball more than even he would probably want to admit. All right.
Well,
All right. That was wonderful.
that was good
Great
times.
stuff, Jared.